Hello and greetings everyone, this is Darth Coldis with another video. Now I recently did the video about my rankings of the Sith Lords and I was asked to do the same with the Jedi. Now the one thing I want to point out before I even start is that I am not as well versed with the Jedi as I am with the Sith, and that this might kind of change later, which is why I refuse to do some of the numbers games like the top 10 or anything where I place them solidly. This is 7, this is 8, and this is Y. They are not interchangeable. I don't feel comfortable doing that, but I will give you numbers where I can, because we do have some pretty much definites on this list, some of which will surprise you, some of which you might already know, and if you only know the TV shows and movies, you probably won't know quite some of the Jedi that I'm going to list here. Now let's just start, shall we? Now number 1, and this is my definite number 1, I this time do it from the up downwards because I feel more comfortable doing that, is Luke Skywalker. Now why Luke Skywalker? Because, well, first of all, George said so. No, seriously, George said that no character in Star Wars can ever be as powerful as Luke Skywalker, not in the future, not in the past, whatever. We see differences there, we see characters that clearly are, but that's the statement of George. And I have to say, Grandmaster Luke is a Jedi who is extremely powerful, because he is not just using the light side as most other Jedi. He is confidently a grey Jedi himself, because he uses Force Lightning, he uses Force Rage, he uses mind control and stuff like that. He uses quite some dark side powers, and he even teaches students some dark side powers. He warns about it. He is very keen on telling people the dangers of using the dark side, but he himself uses the dark side as well, and he has managed to be pretty good with Force Lightning and stuff like that. He, technically speaking, defeated Vader and Palpatine, sorta, kinda, somewhat. When Palpatine returned and stuff, he fought in the Yusang Wong Wars. He was pretty solid there too. And Grandmaster Luke is way more powerful than anything we see of Luke in the movies. He is an absolute badass duelist, and he is really great with the Force. So Luke is probably not the most powerful Jedi if you go deep into the lore, but he is definitely up there, and canonically speaking he is number 1 before Disney purchases it anyway. So I'll just leave him at number 1, because Grandmaster Luke is really powerful and really badass, and he really proved himself in the Yusang Wong War. So okay, number 2. Now here is where I'm already a bit undecisive, because there's so many cool great Jedi that could fit into this position for various reasons. I think, and this is a maybe, I think I'm going with Cal Kestis. Now why Cal Kestis? Well, he is sort of a Jedi, kinda, somewhat trained, whatever. But the same could be said about Luke. Are Luke and Cal Kestis even real Jedi? For the sake of this video, they are. They are called that, they are treated like that, even though it's easy to argue that neither Luke nor Cal are proper Jedi, because neither of them did the full Padawan training thing. None of them had a direct master teaching them. Neither of them went through knighthood or anything like that, and neither of them were really trained properly. So are they even Jedi? I wouldn't say they are, not by the standards that the Clone Wars era Jedi had, at least. So they're not Jedi from that perspective, but everyone calls them a Jedi, so will I. So Cal Kestis has Force Freeze, and he doesn't just use the power like some others do. He is such a master of it that he can use this on a large scale for a very long period of time. Now Cal Kestis' story is not even finished yet. They will release at least one more game with him where he's older and way more powerful than he was before, and he was already pretty powerful so far. And Cal Kestis may get a TV show and or a movie, or maybe even multiple, because Disney has plans with this character. So I'm kind of putting him into second place because the potential that he hasn't realized that potential yet. But we have seen what he's capable of doing when he taps into the dark side. I have no idea where this is going with his character, but I think if they keep going this direction with his power levels, that he may be able to use Force Freeze on a planetary scale, which would clearly cement him in second place, if not even put him in first place. I don't know, but Cal Kestis has a steep learning curve, and he is pretty darn powerful from what we have seen so far. Might go either direction, but I'll put him at number 2 for now. Number 3. That's another thing where I'm tough one. I'd go with Satele Shan. Why Satele Shan? Well, first of all, she was a Grand Master of the Jedi in a time where it actually meant something. She defeated so many Sith in combat. She was an absolute powerhouse with the lightsaber, or the saber staff in her case. She was very powerful with the Force, and she really went through so many battles. She helped stop Valkorion and so many other great things, that achievements that she has, that she can't be any lower on the list than the top 3. She really has to be up there. I'd say that arguably she's even above Luke, but that's arguable because Luke still has some secrets, Grandmaster Luke that is, that Satele didn't. So I put her at least in the top 3 because Satele is really badass and she's really powerful. Bringing me to place number 4. At number 4 I'd place Kyle Katarn. Kyle Katarn, many of you might not even know the name, but Kyle Katarn is one of the probably the best friend of Luke. Well, one of the best friends of Luke. He is not beating Han in that regard, but he helped Luke create the Jedi Academy. He was one of the most prominent teachers there. He went 1v1 against Vader and almost defeated the guy. And that was without proper training, to be fair. He stopped quite some of the most powerful dark side users of the entire Skywalker era. He uses the dark side, uses the light side. He pulled off one of the most powerful force power moves that we have seen in the entire era of the Skywalker timeline, with the Dark Force Spare, what it was called. He is a great duelist, he's a great teacher, he's a fun guy, he knows how to handle a blaster very well too. He actually is one of the few characters in all of Star Wars that actually turned their back on the Force and didn't want anything to do with the Force, and which puts him in Traya territory. Kyle Katarn, amazing character, very powerful with what he does in the Chiefs, definitely in the top 5 at the very least. Now number 5. After Kyle, it's almost I have to do Jaden Korr, because Jaden Korr is the disciple of Kyle Katarn, and as Kyle Katarn's disciple, he also learned to be a great Jedi, just like Kyle Katarn and arguably Luke. Canonically, he is a Jedi because the Jedi ending is the canonical one, and he did defeat entire armies of fallen Jedi. Troops of fallen Jedi. He went toe to toe with the Force Ghost of Marco Ragnus and not only survived but defeated the damn thing, which by the way is a feat that not even Palpatine could pull off, just to give you a perspective there. So Jaden Korr is definitely very powerful, arguably more so than Kyle Katarn. That's tough to say, but he's definitely up there as one of the most powerful Jedi to ever exist. Now number 6, I'd do Bastille Shan. Now Bastille Shan may not have been a powerhouse fighter, but her mastery of battle meditation definitely puts her in the top 10, because she was said to be basically the master of battle meditation. Battle meditation, very powerful ability to enhance entire armies at once, and while she herself may not be that powerful or that good a duelist or fighter, the ability that she has definitely is way up there. It's like super high. It's definitely up there. Which brings me to number 7. Now, number 7, some will start to question if I'm going to mention some of the other characters here. I can comfortably say that place number 7 doesn't belong to any of the characters that you might know from the Clone Wars or the later shows or movies and entries, because basically I guess I'm doing some honorable mentions here. Well, I'll do that later. At number 7, I'm actually putting General Hoth, or not General Hoth, Jedi Battle Master Hoth. Now, if you don't know who that is, that guy is probably the most badass fighter and combatant and duelist that the Jedi ever had. He should arguably be higher on that list. I'm not going to put him there because of all what we know. He is really only good with the lightsaber and not so much with the Force. And some would even argue if he is a proper Jedi, given that he ruled a part of the galaxy, which Jedi aren't kinda supposed to do, but he did it, as did any Jedi Lords, by the way, not for his personal gain, but because some areas just needed a guiding hand, and he was that guiding hand. He defeated many Sith in combat, and he was again one of the, if not the best duelist that the Jedi ever had. General Hoth, Battlemaster Hoth, was an absolutely amazing badass, standing toe to toe with some of the most dangerous Sith of all time, and survived. So yay for Battlemaster Hoth. Now, next place, which number am I even? I think I'm 7 was Hoth, right? So let's go with number 8. Okay, I'm running into a bit of a problem because I think some of the names that pop into my mind aren't considered Jedi. Like Mitra Surik. Is Mitra Surik a Jedi? For the sake of the video, let's say Mitra Surik is a Jedi. Now, Mitra Surik, if you don't know, is the protagonist of the Star Wars: The Old Republic 2. She is a Force user that was capable of defeating Darth Sion and Darth Nihilus with some amazing plot shenanigans. She defeated Traya, and she is definitely a strong fighter and a very, very special, unique case, being a wound in the Force and all. But I'd say Mitra Surik has earned her place for basically stopping Nihilus and Sion, which is quite the feat. Actually, she is literally the only one in the entirety of Star Wars timeline who could have done that, and she did. So Mitra Surik definitely earned a spot on the list. Also, she can be pretty powerful, though I guess there are, technically speaking, more powerful Jedi than that, but not more achieved ones. As for place number 9, Theron Shawn, nope. Does Revan count? Because Revan is definitely very powerful, and he started as a Sith, and he started as a Jedi, and he ended up as a Jedi. And given that he stopped Malak and that thing, all that kind of thing, and that he did stop Valkorion in the end, definitely makes him a top 10 pick. But I am not sure. I'm literally not sure if he's counting as a Jedi, because the version that helped stopping Valkorion, technically speaking, or helped stop Valkorion, tried to stop Valkorion, was his dark side. So he's more like a Sith. If we go Galen Marek, who kinda deserves a spot on the list, he is also not a Jedi, is he? He is used to be Vader's apprentice, so he's kind of out. Some would say Obi-Wan Kenobi, and credits where credits is due. He did defeat some pretty strong Sith in a 1v1. Then again, did he really? So, not comfortable putting him on that list. Some would ask, what about Yoda? Yoda I'm not sure if I'm putting him on the list here either. Same go because Yoda is powerful with the Force. He is kind of great with the Force absorption power. He is also quite good with the lightsaber, but he failed so hard on so many occasions during the Clone Wars. I don't feel comfortable putting him in the top 10. Same goes for Ahsoka. Ahsoka is definitely badass. She held her own against Vader a little bit at least, but she is not. She doesn't consider herself to be a Jedi, even though I would argue she absolutely still a Jedi. Jedi upbringing, Jedi trials. She became very associated with the Order. She still thinks like a Jedi in many occasions, more so than say what's his name, Obi-Wan's teacher, Qui-Gon Jinn, right? So is she a Jedi? Many would say yes. She herself would say no. I say you don't call yourself a Jedi, but come on, you are a Jedi, that kind of thing. But I think I'm going to skip her. The Satil's master, damn, I blank on the name. The Sabrak, you know who I'm speaking of. That guy did some impressive feats as well, worthy of the top 10. You know what, given his achievements during the war and that he held himself very well against Malgus and Malgus' master at the same time, Vicarion, I think it was. Yeah, okay, you know what? Put him on the list. That's my next pick. Am I at number 9 now? The Ancient Jedi, I blank on the name. Like basically the guy responsible for exiling Ajunta Paul and the first Sith. Yeah, that guy is definitely earning a spot on the top 10 list because he basically kicked out the OG Sith, beat them in combat and said be gone, and kicked them off planet. So that's probably worth a mention, but then again I completely blank on the name right now. We could have, I mean, Exar Kun was already absolutely amazing when he still was a Jedi. Which could I put him in the top 10 list for Jedi, because he's technically speaking already was more powerful than most Jedi ever were when he was a Jedi himself. He was hailed as the prodigy of the Jedi Order. Can I count him in, or is he a Sith because he became a Sith later? Difficult thing. I know I said I probably won't include any Skywalker era ones, but I really meant the TV shows and the movies that most people know, because I'm strongly thinking Mara Jade here. Mara Jade, if you don't know, Luke's wife, held her own in duels against Luke, and she used to be a pretty powerful Darksider before meeting Luke. She was trained by Palpatine herself. By Palpatine himself, so I guess she should be in the top 10 at least, because she became a Jedi later. Does that count? I hope so, because I'm putting her at that. Which leaves me with the number 10 spot, and that I'm very confident giving to Corran Horn. Now, if you don't know who Corran Horn is, he is, well, read the books basically. He's one of the most prominent main book characters that are out there. He didn't start out as a Jedi, he started out as a pilot, and actually before that he was with Corsac. So he definitely has a lot of combat training, he definitely knows what he's doing. He was there at many major events in the Star Wars galaxy, and he became a Jedi later on, and he is the actual first canon character to... Yeah, I think he's the first canon character to ever wield silver lightsabers. And I think that's worth a mention too. He is also a very, very good combatant, and he helped defeat Thrawn and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll definitely put him on the list too, even though he's a Skywalker era kind of guy. Can I think of old ones that are mentionable? I probably can if you give me some time, but right now I blank. I have done too many videos in a row, I guess. With that said, have a nice day and may the force be with you.